Oh, tiguang na ba ko? Yeah, I'm 23. So, okay na. Let me share to you my screen. Wait, nawala ko ano. Oh, by the way, isend lang ako ng PowerPoint ha. Sa inyo ha, okay? Like 28 palagi. Asa ang uban? Asa na nga, busy ni sila? Or wala connection siguro? Or may, I don't know, basig mahila na siguro. Oh, by the way, isend lang ako ng PowerPoint ha. Sa inyo ha, okay? S for S for S for S for S for S for. Okay, let's start. Nag-pray na ba ta? Nakalimutan ko. Oy, nag-pray na ta, wala pa. Tiguangan na.
Pray na, sir. Si Ralph ang nag-pray.
Gani ako. Tuwangan na ako. Okay, let's start. So let's have our new lesson. It's continuity of a function at a point. So this will be our new lesson. Okay. So let's have the objectives this morning. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to illustrate continuity of a function, determine whether a function is continuous or not using graphs and equation. So the main objective talaga is you need to identify whether the given equation is continuous or not, or whether the graph given is continuous or not continuous at certain point. Okay, so sige lang, medyo madali lang din ito na lesson. Okay, laban lang, medyo makaya na siya nga lesson. Basta you need to follow the conditions lang. Okay, let's start with this one. A function is continuous at a point if the limit is the same as the value of function. So please take note of this one. This is very important. Ito. A function is continuous at a point if the limit is the same as the value of function. So that is the condition that we need to consider for us to determine whether that function is continuous or not continuous. Okay. Now, I have here an example na graph. Okay, nakita niyo dyan sa PowerPoint yung graph. This function has discontinuities at x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. Now, sir, bakit siya discontinuities at x is equal to 1 and 2? This is the x is equal to 1 and this is x is equal to 2. Now, as you can see, as you have observed dito, yan, meron kasi siyang ito, yung parang hindi fully shaded, or should I say whole ang dot. Okay? Hindi naka-shade yung dot. Class, pag hindi naka-shade ang dot, that means the value of your x in that point is not included. Hindi kasali ang value of your x dyan sa point na yan. If yung point kami is hindi naka-shade. Ito. Kagaya nito. X is equal to 2 is not part of the domain in this graph. Again, x is equal to 2 is not part of the domain in this graph. Okay? Kasi dapat manggod, continuous manggod siya class if kanang walay bangag or walay hole, or should I say, straight lang jud talaga siya, walang halong ganito. Walang halong ganito. Kasi itong open dot kasi class, itong open dot, siya kasi yung dahilan na maging not continuous ang isang graph. Again, siya ang maging dahilan kung bakit not continuous ang isang graph. Lain pagkaayo na you are going to call that graph na continuous. Nga, pag tanaw mo sa graph na ay putol. Kanus ang manahin mong continuous ang putol. Okay? Parehaan eh. Okay? So, dito din, x is equal to 0 and 4. That is continuous. As you can see, this is 4. This is the, di ba naka-shade siya, naka-shade. Ito naman ding x natin na 0, dito yung 0 na part, naka-shade din siya, naka-shade. Okay, naka-shade siya. So that means, continuous ang graph if x is 0 and x is 4. Again, continuous yung graph natin if x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 4. And hindi siya continuous, discontinuous ang term, yeah? Discontinuous if x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 2. As you have observed, the graph, hindi naka-shade, di ba? Ito at saka ito. So to further understand the graph, identifying whether the graph is continuous or not, let's have this example. Let's have first this one, the definition. A function is said to be continuous if its graph has no breaks or holes, and you can trace it without lifting your pen. A continuous function is defined for any real number. Okay, so please take note, A function is said to be continuous if its graph has no breaks or holes, or you can trace it without lifting your pen. Example, ito. This graph is continuous at any point. Again, this graph is continuous at any point. And to think also, you cannot find any holes, di ba? Wala ka makita mga bangag-bangag dyan. Wala ka nakikitang naka-open dot dito sa graph na ito. So this graph, this function is continuous at any point. However, this is discontinuous at x is equal to 1. Okay, continuous siya sa other point except 1. Again, continuous siya sa other point except 1. Sir, bakit hindi siya continuous sa 1? Tingnan ninyo ang graph. Sir, naka-shade man ito. Naka-shade man ito. Oh, naka-shade. This is 1. Yan, naka-shade ay ni. Naka-shade ba na siya? The one-sided limit, the right-hand limit, it is the right-hand limit na part. The right-hand limit, it exists. It's continuous. However, the left-hand limit is not continuous. It's because of this one. May hole kasi siya. Hindi naka-shade. So siya ang maging dahilan na discontinuous ang graph at x is equal to 1. You need to make it sure na it really belongs to x is equal to 1. Yan. X is equal to 1 man talaga. So that means, again the graph is continuous at any point except 1. Again, the graph is continuous at any point except 1. X is equal to 1. Okay? Yan yung time na maging discontinuous ang graph. Again, the function or the graph is discontinuous. At what point? At what point siya discontinuous? At x is equal to 1. Again, discontinuous ang graph at x is equal to 1 based dito sa graph. Yan yung graph, yung may hole. Yan. Another situation is this. Ito. The graph of 3x minus 2 on the right, ito siya. Continuous ba siya or hindi? The answer is yes, it is continuous. As you have observed, at x is equal to 2, 2 man siya na 2. Ito, 2 na siya nga part ito. Yeah. Ang iyang dot is naka-shade, dili siya open. Again, ang iyang dot is naka-shade, dili siya open. So naka-shade man siya, that means the function is continuous at x is equal to 2. Again, the function or the graph is continuous at x is equal to 2. Next. Ito. In this example, as you have observed, naa siya open hole dito. May bangag. This is 1, -1, -2, -3. Okay, this is -3. Now, in this graph, the graph is discontinuous at what point? The graph is discontinuous at x is equal to -3 because of this, ito, because of this one. Again, the function is discontinuous at x is equal to -3. Pero class, ang function nito is continuous at any point except -3. Again, the function is continuous at any point except -3. Again ha, tingnan nyo ang graph. Ang graph is negative, may hole banda sa -3, hindi full ang shade, not fully shaded. Okay, that means the graph, okay, the function is not continuous at x is equal to -3. Or should I say discontinuous? Same case, ito. Determine if the function shown at the right continuous at x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 0. You are going to determine continuous ba siya sa 3 or continuous ba siya sa 0. Yan ang tanong. Continuous sa 3 or continuous ba sa 0. Let's try to check. Asa ang 3? Is 1, 2, 3. This is 3. Oops, getting a point. Oops, wala man kayo makita nga hole. Di ba? Wala ka nakikitang hole. Wala bangag. That means the function is continuous at x is equal to 3. Again, the function is continuous at x is equal to 3. Pero pagdating ka x is equal to 0, this is 0. Sir, shaded ba na siya, sir? Shade ba na? Shade ba yun eh? Di ba? This point, this is 0 and 4. Diba? That's 0 and 4. Your x is 0. Okay, your x is 0. Then naka-open man yan siya. Naka-open. Naka-open that siya. That means, since naka-open na siya na ibangag, that means the function is not continuous at x is equal to 0. Again, the function is not continuous at x is equal to 0. Okay, ha? Again, the function is not continuous at x is equal to 0. Pero sa kanina, continuous siya pag x is equal to 3. Yan. The function is continuous at x is equal to 3 and the function is discontinuous. Another term for not continuous is discontinuous. Yeah, pares na sila. And class, please take note of the spelling sa continuous. Kaya bugoy kayo kung magpa-quiz ko kay. Siguro quiz or magpa-PT ko kay. Wrong spelling, wrong biya. Spelling ha, U-O-U-S. Okay, U-O-U-S. Dakan big na malit sa mga estudyante sa una kay wrong spelling. Lang continuous kay continuous, U-O or O-U ang ano. Yung S tayo. This is wrong. Dapat U-O-U-S. That's discontinuous. Okay? Ito. Determine if the graph of the function below is continuous at x is equal to -1 and 2. Asa ang 2? Asa ang 2? Dara ang 2. Dara, this is the point, di ba? Ito. Now class, may tanong. May hole ba? Wala. Di ba wala? Wala makitang bangag dyan or walang hole. Okay? So, that means the function is continuous at x is equal to 2. Again, in this graph, the function is continuous at x is equal to 2. Kasi tingnan nyo ang graph. Wala kami makikita, di ba, dyan na hole? Pero, x is -1. X is -1. Tingnan nyo ang graph. Tingnan nyo ang graph. Ito, naka-shade. Ito, wala naka-shade. Ito yung wala naka-shade. And that is -1, right? X is -1. May dalawang hindi naka-shade. So that means may hole. That means the function is not continuous at x is equal to -1. Again, the function is not continuous at x is equal to -1. Yan. Okay? So this time, let's have this another situation. Another situation we have here, x is 2. Asa ang 2? Dara. X is -3. Asa negative 3? Dara. X is 4. 4 kay dara. Dirang 2. Now, let's try to find the 4. X is 4. Darang point 8. So, okay lang. Kasi, hindi naka-open dot. So, that means the graph is continuous at X is equal to 4. Ito. X is 3. Negative 3. Ito din. Walang open dot din. Di ba? Hindi siya whole. Naka-shade siya. Okay? So, that means the graph is continuous at X is equal to negative 3 and 4. Again, the graph or the function is continuous at X is equal to negative 3 and 4. How about 2? Tanawa ang 2, di ba, naigo siya sa itong broken line, di ba ito? Di ba? Ang 2 is naigo sa broken line. What do you call that broken line? Anyone? Anyone? What do you call that broken line? Yes. Yeah, how about you, Gipala? And Gipala, what do you call that broken? And Gipala.
Sir,
Yes. What do you call this
try
broken?
ko lang po.
Okay lang.
Asymptote,
What is specific asymptote?
vertical.
That is the correct answer. Thank you so much, Anne. That is vertical asymptote. Class, your vertical asymptote is 2. When we say vertical asymptote, vertical asymptote, ayun yung pinagtagpo pero di tinadhana. Charot. Yeah. Class, please take note of this one. It will never meet your graph and your asymptote will never meet your graph. Again, your vertical, okay, specifically vertical talaga. Your vertical asymptote will never meet your graph. Never din na sila mag-meet. Again, hindi mag-meet yung vertical asymptote at yung graph mo. So let's go back. X is 2. And X is 2 is your vertical asymptote. So automatically, that's discontinuous. Again, pag vertical asymptote gani siya class, automatically that's discontinuous. Again, pag vertical asymptote kasi siya class, automatically that's discontinuous already, not continuous. Okay? So in this case, our x is equal to 2 is your vertical asymptote. So automatically that is not continuous na. The graph is not continuous at x is equal to 2. Again, the graph is discontinuous or not continuous at x is equal to 2. So bakit not continuous? Because x is equal to 2 is your vertical asymptote. Again, your x is equal to 2 is your vertical asymptote. That is why the graph is not continuous. So, yan. So the function is continuous at x is equal to negative 3 and 4 but not at x is equal to 2. Again, bakit di nga siya continuous sa x is equal to 2? Because x is equal to 2 is your vertical asymptote. How about this one? I want you to identify. Okay? If x is 1, unsa siya? Continuous ba siya or dili? Kung negative 1/2, continuous ba siya or dili? Kung negative 5, continuous ba siya or dili? I want you to chat your answer. Okay? I will give you 1 minute. Okay? Try to understand unsa siya. X is equal to 1, continuous, dili. Negative 1/2, continuous, dili. Negative 5, continuous, dili. So chat your answer. Okay? So, the graph is continuous at what point? Okay, asa man siya continuous lang? Sa x is -1/2 and -5. Try to check 5. Asa ang 5? -5, -5. Darang -5. So, andito yung point ng graph niya. And wala kang makikitang hole dyan. Ang -1/2 is andito. 1 dito, this is the -1/2 dito. And this point also, wala kang makikitang hole dyan. So that means, continuous sila sa -1/2 at saka -5. Again, the graph is continuous at -1/2 at saka sa -5. However, dili siya continuous, or should I say, the graph is discontinuous at x is equal to 1. Diba, this is x is equal to 1, and that is your vertical asymptote. Again, anong sinabi ko kanina? Basta vertical asymptote gani siya, okay, that means the graph is not continuous at that point, at x is equal to 1. Kasi again, ngayon hindi siya continuous sa x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1 is the vertical asymptote of the graph. Again, discontinuous siya sa x is equal to 1. It's because x is equal to 1 is the vertical asymptote of the graph. So yun lang. So let's proceed. So this is the question. How can we determine if a function is continuous at a given point without tracing its graph? Again, paano ba natin malalaman if that function is continuous or not? Hindi given ang graph. Kanina kasi given yung graph. It is easy for us to identify a function or a graph if it is continuous or not kasi graph man siya, di ba? Kasi makita lang natin sa graph. By looking at the graph, we can identify that graph is not continuous at that point. How about hindi graph ang given? How about equation ang given? Okay? Paano ba natin malalaman pag equation ang given? So let's have first the definition of continuous at a point. So interior point, a function y is equal to f of x is continuous at an interior point of C if its domain, the limit of the function as x approaches to C is equal to f of C. Ibig sabihin niyan, continuous siya if the limit of the function is equal to the value of your f of C. Again, parehas yung value ng ating function sa limit ng function niya. Or the interior endpoint, a function y is equal to f of x is continuous at left endpoint A, or the left hand limit rather, left endpoint or the left hand limit, or continuous at the right endpoint, or should I say the right hand limit, both of its domain. If parehas ang value ng ating left hand limit or the right hand limit, if parehas sila ng value sa ating function, automatically the function exists. Again, automatically the function exists. Okay, now I want you to write this one. This will help you. Okay, this will help you to determine whether the function is continuous or not continuous. Okay, a function is said to be continuous at a number C if and only if first f of C exists, second the limit of the function exists, and third if the first condition at saka second condition magkaparehas sila ng value, if they are equal. Again, continuous siya if nag-satisfy yung tatlong condition. Tatlo dapat ang masatisfy. First condition, f of C exists. Second condition, the limit exists. And the third condition, dapat ang value ng ating first condition is the same with the value of your second condition. The value of your limit is equal to f of C. And that's the time you can conclude, you can support your claim that the function is continuous. Again, you can support your conclusion na the function is continuous. Pero pag first condition pa lang gani, pag first condition wala na nag-exist, conclude diretso na discontinuous. Again, pag first condition gani, pag first condition wala na siya nag-exist, ayan, conclude already that the function is discontinuous. Ay nag-proceed sa step 2, step 3. Again, pag first condition pa lang gani, wala na nag-exist, conclude diretso. Ay nag-proceed to step 2 and 3. Ayun. Pero pag first condition nag-exist, then ang second condition, again, ang second condition, wala nag-exist ang limit. Again, ang first condition nag-exist, pero ang second condition, wala nag-exist ang limit. That means, stop na. Conclude directly. Conclude directly that the function is discontinuous. Again, conclude already that the function is discontinuous. And lastly, ito siya, aabot pa rin ito ng ganitong condition. Ang first condition nag-exist. Ang second condition nag-exist. Pagdating sa third condition, hindi equal ang kanilang values. Iba ang value ng first condition at saka iba ang value ng second condition, which is the limit. Magkaiba ang value. So if they are not equal, that means the function is discontinuous. Again, the function is discontinuous if hindi magkaparehas ang value ng inyong limit at saka yung function. So, sige lang, I will give examples naman din mamaya. So, I want you to write this one muna. Isulat mo muna ito kasi the steps that you need to consider. Ito talaga yung steps. The three conditions that you need to consider for you to determine whether the given function is continuous or not continuous. So, I will give you time to write this one. Okay, so let's proceed to our first example. Okay. But before that, let me explain muna ito. Before tayo mag-example, let me explain muna ito. So, this figure, okay, the function of this one, the function is y is equal to square root of 4 minus x squared. So, the function is continuous at every domain point. So, this is continuous at any point. However, in this example, ito lang yung continuous. The right-hand limit is continuous. The left-hand limit is not continuous because of this one. Hindi naka-shade. Hindi siya naka-shade. So automatically, since hindi mo siya naka-shade, this is not continuous at x is equal to 0. Again, this is not continuous at x is equal to 0 based sa graph. And also, itong graph nito, from A, B, C, D, E, F, ang A lang ang continuous. Again, si A lang yung continuous. Bakit? Wala ka mang makikitang ano dito, di ba? Wala ka makikitang naka-hold dyan. Walang bangag dyan. Oo. Si B, ito. That is not continuous at x is equal to 0. Same thing din dito. That is not continuous at x is equal to 0. Ito din. That is not continuous at x is equal to 0. Ito. This is not continuous because the vertical asymptote is x is equal to 0. Again, this is not continuous because of the vertical asymptote which is x is equal to 0. And also ito din, ito. Hindi siya continuous because hindi pwede maging value ang x na 0. Okay? Hindi siya continuous because hindi pwede maging value ang x na 0. So again, from B to F, not continuous at what point? At x is equal to 0. Pero si letter A lang talaga ang continuous. Okay? Si letter A lang talaga ang continuous. Okay, so let's solve. We are going to determine whether this function is continuous or not continuous. Okay, we are going to identify whether this example, whether this function is continuous or not continuous. Okay, let's try to solve. Okay. The given function is g of x is equal to x squared plus 1 at x is equal to 1. Again, that's the given function. So you are going to determine whether that function is continuous or not at x is equal to 1. Again, you are going to identify whether this function is continuous or not at x is equal to 1. So again, how many conditions do we have? We have 3 conditions. Okay? Tatlong conditions. And in order for us to determine na continuous itong function na to, you need to make it sure that these 3 conditions will satisfy. Okay? Dapat mag-satisfy itong tatlong condition na to para mag-exist yung para mag-conclude natin na continuous itong function na to. So let's start with our first condition. Our first condition is we need to identify if the f of c exists. Sir, paano mo yun siya kunin, sir? Paano yun siya kunin? Okay. Please take note of this one again. Please take note of this one. Oh my God, brown out. Sorry. Okay. So, again, sorry napalong nagkalit ang ano. Again, paano natin kukunin yung first condition? Ang gagawin nyo lang is to substitute. Again, i-substitute lang po, ang value ng ating x. Anong value ng ating x? 1. Dito sa ating function. Yan lang yung first condition. Again, all you need to do is to substitute the value of your x for us to find the first condition. I-substitute lang siya. So your x is 1. So g of 1 is equal to 1 squared plus 1. So g of 1 squared is 1. 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. G of 1 is 2. Again, g of 1 is 2. Again, basta first condition class is substitute na. Again ha, basta first condition is substitute lang jud na siya. Opo, substitute lang. Okay? So g of 1 is equal to 2. Now my question, nag-exist ba ang 2? Wala. 2 nag-exist? Wala. The answer is yes. Nag-exist ang 2. Again, nag-exist ang 2. So that means, sir, nag-exist man yung first condition natin, sir. So we can proceed to our second condition. Very good. We can proceed to our second condition. Again, nag-exist kasi yung first condition. Nag-exist yung first condition, so let's proceed to our second condition. Pero ganit, if ever wala na nag-exist ang first condition, ay nagpadayon sa second condition. Ay nagpadayon sa step 2. Conclude already. Okay, conclude already that the function is discontinuous at x is equal to 1. If wala nag-exist ang sagot dito. Okay? So, based sa ating example na exist mo lang 2, let's find the second condition. And what is the second condition? The second condition is the limit of the function. We are going to find the limit of the function. Our function is x squared plus 1. So, the limit of x squared plus 1 as x approaches to, mas approach na to, 1. Okay, now, just like what what I have taught to you last time, what I have sinabi ko, na hindi always applicable ang direct substitution. Again, to find the limit, hindi always applicable ang direct substitution. Okay? Hindi always applicable. But in this example class, ito, pwede natin ma-apply ang direct substitution. And pwede natin ma-apply ang direct substitution in this example. So, pwede ba? Yes. Let's try. Substitute 1 squared plus 1. The answer is 2. Okay? The limit of the function, the limit of g of x is 2 as x approaches to 1. Again, the limit of g of x, which is our function, is equal to 2. So, nag-exist man ang atong limit. Okay. Nag-exist ato ang limit, di ba? Yes, nag-exist ang limit. So, let's proceed to our third condition. Pag mag-exist yung limit natin sa second condition, proceed to third condition. Again, pag mag-exist yung limit natin sa second condition, proceed to third condition. Na ang third condition, unsa itong third condition, you are going to differentiate or compare. I-compare nimo ang values sa first condition o second condition. Okay? Again, you are going to compare the value of your first condition and second condition. Our first condition is 2. Tama, 2. Our second condition, the limit of the function, okay? The limit of the function as x approaches to 1 is also 2. Di ba? Ang g of 1 is 2. Ang limit is also 2. 2 po, di ba? 2. 2. Parehas silang dalawa. That means g of 1 is equal to the limit of g of x as x approaches to 1. Equal siya. Again, the value of your first condition, the g of 1, and the value of your second condition, the limit of the g of x is 2. Parehas sila. They are equal. At ano rin sinabi ko last time pag equal? Therefore, tatlong tuldok na triangle. That means therefore. Therefore, g of x, our function, is continuous. Spelling is continuous at what point? At x is equal to 1. Again, g of x is continuous at x is equal to 1. Parehas man sila equal to parehas sila value. Okay? Sulat mo na before we will proceed to our second example. Yan. Okay, sulat mo na before we will proceed to second example. Okay, so let's have another example ito. Let's have this example. So again ha, ang first condition lang yun, ang first condition is i-substitute lang. Again, ang first condition kay i-substitute lang dyan siya. That's the first condition. So f of x is equal to x cubed plus x squared minus 2. This is our given function. And the point is x is equal to 1. Again, the value of your x is 1. So f of 1 is equal to 1 cubed plus 1 squared minus 2. So f of 1 is equal to 1 plus 1 minus 2. So f of 1 is 0. Okay? The value of your first condition is 0. Now my question, nag-exist ba siya ang 0? Yes. 0 still a number. 0 is still a real number. Totoong number ang 0. So, walang dahilan na it is continuous siya kasi 0 siya. No, that's wrong. F of 1 is equal to 0. 0 exists and 0 is a number. Okay? So since nag-exist man siya, 0 is a number, so let's proceed to the second condition. Okay, nag-exist siya, and then let's proceed to our second condition. The second condition is the limit of the function. Our function is x cubed plus x squared minus 2. This is the limit of the function. Okay? This is the limit of the function. So as x approaches to 1, 1 lang ito, so as x approaches to 1. And in this kind of function, in this kind of situation, yes, in this kind of situation, pwede lang natin ma-apply ang direct substitution. Again, in this kind of situation, pwede natin i-apply ang direct substitution. Yes, pwede lang i-apply ang direct substitution. So you have 1 cubed plus 1 squared minus 2. So 1 plus 1 minus 2, the limit is 2. The limit of our function f of x as x approaches 1 is 2. Nag-exist ang limit na to, which is 2. Again, the limit exists and the limit is 2. And for our third condition, you are going to compare the result of the first condition and the second condition. Again, i-compare nimo ang result sa first condition. Okay, thank you so much. Ating alam po kung anong to. Okay, thank you so much, Aika. 0 di ay. Ay, nabugo na ko plus. 1 plus 1 is 2. Minus 2, 0. Jasas. Again, ha? Nawali kong sulat. Thank you so much, Aika. Thank you. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Ano kung 2 akong gisulat, no? Ano kung budong answer? Oh, shock po ko. Medyo tanga-tanga po usahay. So, let's continue. 0. So, the limit is 0. Okay. So, let's proceed to the third condition. Ang third condition is ganito. You are going to compare your answer. Kung ano yung you are going to compare your answer sa first condition at saka second condition. Your first condition, ang sagot, 0. The second condition, the limit is 0. Parehas sila, dili? Parehas sila? Yes. Parehas sila, 0. Okay? So that means your f of 1 is equal to the limit of your function as x approaches to 1. Okay? Again ha, your f of 1 is equal to the limit of the function as x approaches to 1, which is 0 is equal to 0. Diba 0, 0? 0 ang f of 1, 0 po na nga ito ang limit of the function. 0, 0. So that means, sir, equal sila, sir. Ang third condition, equal sila. That means, your f of x is continuous at x is equal to 1. That's the answer. Again, your f of x is continuous at x is equal to 1. Sisulat mo na. Okay. Now, let's proceed in this example. Ito. The function x squared minus x minus 2 over x minus 2 at x is equal to 2. So, let's try to determine whether this function is continuous or not continuous or discontinuous. Okay? Class, kung discontinuous gani ang answer class, kayo na bahala. Discontinuous ba siya or not continuous? Parehas na sila. Okay. So, let's start. Our first condition. Kung sa kanyang first condition, is substitute lang. Again, ang first condition, find the value of your f of c. In order to find the value of that one, all you need to do is to substitute. Our value of your x is 2. Again, the value of your x kay 2. So let's substitute. F of x is equal to 2 squared minus 2 minus 2 over 2 minus 2. So your f of 2, we have 4 minus 4 over 2 minus 2. So your f of 2, we have 0 over 0. Okay? 0 over 0. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng 0 over 0? Yes. Anyone? Ano ibig sabihin ng 0 over 0?
Indeterminate.
Okay, very good. It's indeterminate. Again ha? Indeterminate. Okay. Class, magkaiba ang undefined or at saka yung indeterminate. Again, magkaiba ang undefined, imaginary at saka indeterminate. Ang imaginary is square root of a negative number, fourth root of a negative number. Diba? Yan yung mga imaginary number. Ang undefined class kay any number except 0 divided by 0. Dili 0 ang numerator. Pero ang denominator 0, that's undefined. Pero pag 0 over 0, that's indeterminate. Again ha, take note of this one. Pag undefined, nigawas ba na siya yung PT last time? Diba? Pag undefined, number over ang denominator 0, ang denominator lang ang 0. Pero pag indeterminate, both numerator and denominator 0. That's indeterminate. And class, indeterminate, wala na sila nag-exist. Okay? Undefined, imaginary, indeterminate, wala na sila nag-exist. They are not real numbers. Again ha? Indeterminate, undefined, imaginary, they are not real numbers. Wala sila nag-exist as true number. So, that means, sir, ang kaning first condition, ano naman, sir? Mag-stop na ba, may? Yes. Mag-stop na mo, class. Wag na kayo mag-proceed sa step 2. Okay? Wag na kayo mag-proceed sa step 2 kasi it's already indeterminate. Hindi yan siya na-exist. Okay? So, conclude. Conclude. Therefore, the function is discontinuous at x is equal to 2. Then, therefore, the function is discontinuous at x is equal to 2. Wag na kayong mag-proceed sa step 2 and 3. Okay, ha? Yung sinabi ko kanina, pag ma-failed na gani ang first condition, conclude diretso. Kagaya nito, hindi nag-exist ang indeterminate. So automatically, conclude diretso that the function is discontinuous at the value of your x. Okay? So copy mo na. Pagkita na ako may na Irish. Isn't it, sir, I can't stop me? Di ba, Mike, no? Okay, let's proceed. Kapiyasan niya, ito na ni part. Let's proceed to the, to the piecewise function na example. Again, let's proceed to piecewise function na example. Yan. Gusto naman na yung example, sir. Yan. Let's have this kind of example. Piecewise function. Same pa rin siya. 3 conditions. Yeah, 3 conditions. Okay, please take note of this one kasi basta piecewise function, meron kayong dapat i-consider. Let's have the first condition. Now, sa ating piecewise function, the function is ito, you are going to determine if it is continuous at x is equal to 4. Ang first question, sir, there are 2 functions involved. Dalawang functions involved. Sa dalawa dyan, sino yung pipiliin namin for the first condition? Di ba? Sa first condition, di ba, you are going to substitute only. Tama? You are going to substitute only. Sa piecewise function dito, sir, sino yung pipiliin namin for first condition? Ang pipiliin ninyo ay yung taong mahal ka. Charot lang. Okay. Oh, wala noon ko da. Again. Sana all pinili. Okay, let's go back. Again, for the first condition, ang pipiliin ninyo is yung wala na. Din ako mawala man ko eh. What's up? Okay. For the first condition, ang pipiliin ninyo is yung merong equal symbol. Sir, sa dalawang condition dito, saan dito ang may equal symbol? This is x is less than 4. This is x is greater than or equal to 4. Diba? From the word greater than or equal. Okay? So that means, ito sir, ito yung function natin gagamitin. Yes. Ito yung function na ating gagamitin para sa first condition. Again ha, para malaman niyo yung function for your first condition, you need to look dito. Tingnan nyo dito. Sa kanilang dalawa na condition dito, alin dyan ang may equal? Ito plain less than. Ito it's greater than or equal. So may or equal siya. So ito yung function na ating gagamitin para makuha ang first condition. Sir, I have a question. What if wala? What if ka na wala? Di ba wala? What if? Possible na. Yes, that's possible. What if ganyan? Okay. Since wala may or equal, di ba wala kang makikitang or equal, tama? Wala kang makikitang or equal. That means wala ang first condition. So hindi mag-i-exist ang first condition. Again ha, if walang or equal sa kanilang dalawa, or tatlo, ganun, may tatlo pa kasi case. Okay. Automatically, walang first condition. Hindi nag-i-exist ang first condition. Or should I say, f of x is not defined. Wala nag-exist. So ano ang conclusion namin, sir? Ano ang conclusion namin? O, conclude diretso that the function is discontinuous. Okay ha? If walang or equal, saan man mo pag-substitute kung walang equal dira? Sige daw, Bel. Saan mo pag-substitute? Di ba wala? Nothing to be substituted, right? So wala kayong ma-substitute dira sa first condition. So conclude diretso that the function is discontinuous. Okay? Pero, originally na may equal. Naman siya equal class, na equal. So let's solve. Meron man siyang equal ito sa original given. So let's solve. Let's substitute. The value of our x is 4. X is 4. 4 minus 4 squared plus 3. So your f of 4, 4 minus 4 is 0 squared plus 3. So f of 4 is, yan. 3 exists. Yes. Nag-exist yung 3 natin. Tama? Nag-exist yung 3 natin. That is why we can proceed to our second condition. Again, nag-exist yung first condition natin, which is 3 equal to 3. That means, let's proceed to second condition. Let's proceed to second condition. Okay. Next. For our second condition, ang second condition is the limit, di ba? Yan yung second condition. You need to find the limit. Sir, dalawa man sila, sir. Dalawa. Nanapod mo i-consider? Yes. Naanapod mo i-consider. Okay. When we say x is less than 4, that is the left-hand limit. Di ba? Less than left-hand limit. If x is greater than 4, that is the right-hand limit. So the limit of x plus 1 as x approaches 4 from the left, kasi left-hand, di ba? Less than, so from the left. Ang isa, the limit of x minus 4 squared plus 3 as x approaches 4 from the right. Bakit siya ang from the right? Bakit siya ang from the right? Because greater than. Bakit siya ang from the left? Because less than. Yan. Then, pwede naman siya i-substitute, di ba? Pwede lang natin i-substitute. So, 4 plus 1, the answer is 5. Ito, 4 minus 4 squared plus 3, the answer is 3. Ang isa 5, ang isa 3. This is the left-hand limit. Tama? This is the left-hand limit. For the right, this is the right-hand limit. Sir, the left-hand limit is not equal to our right-hand limit. Dili sila parehas. Okay? They are not equal. 5, 3. So what do you think is the limit? The limit is DNE. Okay? The left-hand limit is 5. The right-hand limit is 3. They are not equal. The limit does not exist. Hala sir, DNE, wala nag-exist ang limit. So, dili namin mag-proceed sa step 3. Yes. Class, in step 2, the second condition, wala nag-exist ang limit. Again, the second condition, wala nag-exist ang limit. Okay? So, since wala nag-exist ang limit, that means conclude directly. Conclude diretso. Wala man nakaabot ng third condition, tama? Hindi tayo umabot ng third condition. Conclude diretso that the function is not continuous, okay, at x is equal to 4. Okay, again ha, sa second condition, wala nag-exist ang limit. Again na, kanus ada ay, sir, kanus ada ay mag-proceed sa step 3. Mag-proceed ka sa step 3 pag mag-exist ang limit. In this example, sa step 2, the second condition, wala nag-exist ang limit. So, conclude directly that the function is not continuous at x is equal to. Okay? So, isulat muna before we will proceed to our last example. Okay, let's proceed to this example. This will be our last example before we will end. Apa. And we're going to continue naman din after this, our discussion tomorrow. Saan ako erase? Pa-bright sa ako ha. So let's have this example. Yan. So ibang situation. Magkaiba sila, di ba? Magkaiba. Magkaiba. So let's have our first condition. Sir, sa kanilang dalawa, sir, sino yung pipiliin namin for first condition? Sa kanilang dalawa, sino yung pipiliin? ng ating for our first condition? Of course, ang pipiliin natin yung may equal. Ito lang. Kung sa man not equal man Of course, lain ko ba ito nato So it should be ito lang. Okay? Ito yung function natin gagamitin for our first condition because of its condition pod na x is equal to 3. So ito. Yung may equal ang pipiliin for our first condition. So what if silang duha, sir? Silang duha pilion. Again pag silang duha pilion. Pero so far class, nag-isa lang ang naa. In this case, siya lang. Ito lang. So our function f of x is square root of 2x minus 2. Substitute. Again sir, bakit siya ang pinili for our first condition? Because if x is equal to 3, equals man. Substitute. F of 3, square root of 2 times 3 minus 2. So f of 3 is equal to square root of 6 minus 2 is equal to square root of 4. So f of 3 is equal to 2. Square root of 4 is 2. Okay? Nag-exist ba siya? Nag-exist ba ang ating first condition? Yes, nag-exist. Awan ako, yes it is. Feeling rich. Yes it is. Ay, ako baknoy. Uy, ayaw ba? ang it exists yung it. Okay. Again, nag-exist ba ang first condition? Yes, it exists. Okay? Yes, it is. Okay, nag-exist. So, since nag-exist man siya, let's proceed to our second condition. The limit. Sir, ang ato ang second condition, sir ba? You cannot find dito na less than or equal, di ba? Wala kang makikitang symbol na less than or greater than. Di ba? Wala kang makikitang symbol dito na less than or greater than. Ang given lang, equal or not equal. Yan ang given. So, paano namin malalaman, sir? Paano namin makukuha yung limit? Paano namin makukuha yung limit? Now, take note of this one. Anong ibig sabihin ng not equal? Of course, malamang, dili ka parehas. Okay? Not equal means di ka parehas. But alam niyo ba na another side ng not equal kay x is not equal to 3, that means it is either greater than 3 or less than 3. Di ba? Ang ibig sabihin ng x is equal to 3, x is not equal to 3, ang ibig sabihin niyan is either less than 3 or greater than 3. Pag not equal gani class, ang point niya dyan is it's either less than or greater than. So that means, sir, ito yung kukunan namin ng limit. Yes. Ito yung kukunan ninyo ng limit because of the presence of not equal. Kasi, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, na ang not equal, it's either less than or greater than. Okay? So the limit of x minus 2. So sir, dalawa ang kukunin, sir. Yes, dalawang limit ang kukunin. The x minus 2 as x approaches 3 from the left. This is for the less than. The other side is x minus 2 as x approaches 3 from the right, and that is for the greater than. Substitute lang class. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. This is the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit. The left-hand limit is equal to the right-hand limit. Tama? 1, 1. The left-hand limit at saka the right-hand limit, they are equal. That means the limit of the function as x approaches 3, the answer is 1. The limit is 1. From the left, 1. From the right, 1. They are equal. So the limit exists and the limit is 1. Yan. OMG, sir. Makaproceed pa ta sa step 3. Yes. Class, makaproceed pa tayo sa step 3. Okay? Makaproceed pa tayo because the second condition, the limit exists. Unlike sa ating previous example dito ito, D and E. However, dito sa ating example ngayon, the limit exists and the limit is 1. So we can proceed. We can proceed to our third condition. And what is your third condition? Ang tanong, parehas ba sila? Your f of 3 is 2. Your limit is 1. 2, 1. Parehas dili. They are not equal. Yan. Again, your f of 3 is 2. The limit is 1. They are not equal. Therefore, f of x is discontinuous. Okay? F of x is discontinuous. At what point? At x is equal to 3. And that is the answer. Okay? Question? Okay, before is tulaksa, then I will ask a question if naa. Then let's end our class. Okay? Question? Wala. So mag-meet pa man taog no? Mag-meet pa taog pero next week asynchronous. Dili pareha sa isa ka na ako'y duha ka section class nga di mi mag-meet week o by klase Wednesday, Thursday, tama? Na klase Wednesday, Thursday. So for